What's good, TikTok family? It's your boy TIZ back. I'm back again. Are you enjoying your pre-4th of July?
Yes!
It's July 3rd. Tomorrow's the 4th of July. Happy birthday, America. It's 250 years of being a country. And I think we've established that foundational black Americans have been here way longer than that. Congratulations to us for still being here. I think they pretty much did everything they could to eliminate us, but we still here. We still here. How y'all doing? How y'all feeling? I'm feeling really good. Unfortunately, my job has changed my schedule. So I was planning on doing this video tomorrow, an extensive video. I'm going to break this video up into a couple of different sections for TikTok because of, the attention span of TikTokers. But this is basically going to be a YouTube video. So let's get back to where we were. So let's wrap up those last 3 videos that we had. Or was it 4? I believe it was 3. Let's wrap those up. Let's go back and talk about what we talked about before. So, I think we've established that Drewski was cool and he didn't desecrate the church because the church and the Bible have already been desecrated. I got good news too in this video. This video is not going to be so harsh. I know it gets a little bit dark because of what we talked about before. We talked about misdirection. And because of misdirection and cognitive dissonance, the Bible can and will be manipulated as a tool to control the masses into believing that they are slaves, that they are stupid, and that they need to be controlled. It is what's called the Hegelian dialectic. Let's learn about that. Okay, so the Hegelian dialectic is a psychological method associated with George Wilhelm Friedrich Hegel for understanding how ideas, societies, and history develop through conflict and resolution. Although it summarizes a thesis, antithesis, and synthesis, Hegel himself rarely used those exact terms. They became a popular way of describing his philosophy later. Number 1, thesis, an exiting idea, system, or condition. Antithesis, a challenge, contradiction to that idea. And number 3, synthesis, a new understanding that resolves aspects of both while creating something new. The synthesis then becomes the new starting point and the process continues. That's a whole lot to swallow, so let's digest it. Example, thesis, government should have almost no role in the economy. Now, over time, problems arise. In comes thesis. The antithesis is that government should control the economy. So at first we believed that the government shouldn't control the economy at all. Then we started having problems, and the antithesis is that government should control the economy. Now what ends up happening is that the problems that arise are made by whom? The government, of course. The government causes the problems so that your antithesis will be for them to control the economy. Then what happens is people start to learn about what's going on. They begin to see that there are strengths and weaknesses in both positions. There are strengths that the government has no control over the economy. And then there are weaknesses also. Then there are strengths and weaknesses in the government controlling the economy also. So now what? Synthesis. Maybe we should have a mixed economy where markets operate freely in many areas. Government regulates some sectors and provides certain public services. That's what the government wanted all along. We have an idea that needs a result. We cause a problem. Your problem is solved when you do what we wanted you to do in the first place. This new arrangement may face new contradictions. We then continue the same process over and over and over. In other words, this is problem, reaction, solution. Unfortunately, or fortunately, this is not what Hegel actually wanted. He wanted the process to work differently. This is him right here. So, from what I've read about him, he wasn't a bad guy. You know, he got some real dark eyes and he got a serious European look. But he wasn't a bad guy. He was just trying to help people solve problems of society, which is a difficult thing. So now we got misdirection, we got cognitive dissonance, and now we have the Hegelian dialectic. These are all things that they can use to manipulate your mind into, they basically funnel ideas into your mind. So the thing that comes out the other side is what they wanted in the first place. Is for them to be God and for you to be the slave. You do this with compliance. You make yourself the slave. They give you the Bible that you're supposed to not question. You're supposed to believe everything without analyzing the information. They make you create a story in your mind. That story says that you are imperfect and need to be led. Then they misdirect that information into making you believe that they are God. They're the ones that can do the things that you can't do for yourself. The solution is for you to give all your rights, all your money, and everything that you are to them and be happy. Now, we're going to clear up some things about Jesus. First off, before we get started, last time we got a little dark about Jesus. Now, I want you guys to understand that I was only putting you in a position for you to open your mind to different concepts. I'm going to tell you straight up. I believe in Jesus. I'm still not totally positive that Jesus was God because of the way the Bible was written. I believe that Jesus was God, but I still have an open mind about it. That being said, I want you guys to understand, I don't want you to question how you feel about Jesus. It's very, very important. But I don't want you to let the understanding of Jesus be manipulated into controlling your mind. I hope all of this stuff makes sense because it's important. This is really important. Let's go back to what we were saying before. Now, Jesus had a lot to do with the slaves. Well, he had a lot in common with the slaves, with a slave man, so to speak. For this, I want you to bring yourself back to around 1800 right? You're a black male slave. I said black because there were different color slaves. We can get into. There were white slaves, there were Asian slaves, and there were also Native American slaves. It wasn't just black slaves. The image of slavery is just focused on the black man. I have my opinions about that, but I'm going to keep my opinions to myself so that I can uh, leave an open dialogue. It's 1800. You are a male slave around 17 years old. You're working in the field. You're alone. You've just gotten sold off of your plantation to another plantation that you don't know. You don't know these slaves. You have no parents. You have nobody. Your slave owner is mean as hell. I want you to picture this vividly. Even if you're a white man, even if you're an Asian man, no matter who you are, I want you to picture yourself in this position. Say you in where my family was from, Jackson, Mississippi, on a plantation there. Picture yourself at Candyland. I don't know if y'all saw the movie Django, but just picture yourself on that plantation. You're out there working. You don't know anybody. You just got shipped off. You're lonely. Now it's Sunday. It's time to go to church. You're listening to another slave tell you about Jesus. This slave can read. This slave is reading out the Bible and telling you all the great things Jesus did, all the miracles that he did, all the sick that he got well, the man with blindness, all of these things. And then it culminates into him being judged for something he didn't do as a totally innocent man, getting the crown of thorns put on his head, getting whipped, humiliated in the streets, having to carry this cross, his own cross, to his own death, finally hanging on that cross, suffering, asking God to forget, to, take this burden away from him suffering on that cross until the soldier stabs him in the side, he dies, and then he rises again. This is the image that young man imagines. He imagines himself in that position because he's suffering like Jesus. He was born in a manger, basically, because he don't really remember where he was born. He was born in probably some backyard or whatever, and then he was shipped off. He's trying to do the best he can. He's trying to be the best young man he can. And he's innocent. He's innocent of all charges. Why is it all of this stuff happening to him? He's being whipped by someone that is an authority of him that has no authority. He's supposed to be a man, but he's treated like a horse. He's treated like cattle. And he's really wanting to die. He wants to die. He doesn't want to be there. He just wants peace. He's inspired by Jesus. And then he goes to his plantation. On Sunday is the day that they was getting ready for the new week. All the people that didn't make, their quotas got whipped. All the ones that ran away got made examples of. So they went to church and had a beautiful, inspiring day, and then it was followed up by all the punishments. Master would make a slave whip his best friend. You'll have mandingo fights, all types of things that went on in the plantation on Sundays to get you ready for Saturday. Now, can you imagine what this mind manipulation was about? This is how they used the Bible. You wonder why the black church is unlike any other church you've ever been to. With the shouting and the speaking in tongues, the elaborate choirs, the charismatic ministers, you've wondered why it was like this. Now we have this, the mega church. Look what we have become based on the emotions of that slave, based on the mixed emotions of that slave, based on the mind. From the slave on the plantation to this. Can you imagine with that, how much money that church made that day? Can you imagine? We're going to end this here for TikTok. I'm going to keep going with this video for YouTube. This is King James. We're going to talk more about him, and we're going to prove beyond a shadow of a doubt whether Jesus really existed or not. What do you think? Do you believe Jesus really existed? Or do you believe they made him up? We're going to examine it. Peace and blessings to you. Have a great holiday. See you later.